What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we've got an absolutely awesome Japanese goldfish shop tour, so make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. As always, check out the links in the description, and if you haven't already, make sure to check out our competition that we're doing on the Fancy Goldfish Fanatics Facebook group. We have coupled up with our sponsors Star Fisheries and Jimmy Goldfish to give away £50 or $50, depending if you're from the UK or the United States, to spend on their online or in-person stores. So make sure to check that one out on the Facebook group. As I mentioned, today we're going to be doing a Japanese goldfish farm slash shop tour. It is more of a shop tour, but the farm is linked to it. Now, the actual farm is called Marutaro. Hopefully I didn't butcher the name. Goldfish farm slash shop in Japan. And Japan Goldfish Tours has actually put this video together. So Japan Goldfish Tours is the actual channel that did this video, and I'm going to put a link down to the original video in the description because I absolutely loved it, and all credit is due to the owner. As I did with the Oliver Knott video, I'm going to just narrate over the top, tell you what I think of the shop, what I think of the fish, have a little look at the fish, and we're just going to do sort of a tour together with me and you watching at home. So I hope you enjoy this one. I'm not going to babble on any more, and I'm going to get straight to it because this is going to be a long video. So enjoy. As I mentioned, this video was filmed by Japan Goldfish Tour, so make sure you check the link out to the original video in that description below. But now let's get on to the narration here. So I haven't actually, as per the last video I did on Oliver Knott's tank, I haven't actually listened to the audio of this video in particular, and I'm really just going to be going through it with you. As you'll notice, this is more of a shop tour, and I believe the farm that the goldfish shop is linked to brings all of their fish into this facility, and then you guys can purchase them, or not you guys watching, but potentially the people in Japan can go and purchase them in the store. So as we can see so far, it looks like we've got quite a lot of fiberglass tubs laid out across the shop, which I really like to see. Really nice to keep the fancies in that shallow, low water, and really good for their swimming balance and swimming pattern as well, and not putting too much pressure on the fish. Also, I really like to be able to see the top view of the fish as well as the side view, and it looks like we've got some glass tanks above the fiberglass vats that we can look at the fish from the side view, and then the other fiberglass tanks we can look at them from the top view, which I'm really liking as well. Now obviously all of the prices is in yen as it is Japanese, and I don't quite know the exchange rate, so you will have to probably check. If you want to see what their rough pricing is, you will have to Google it to find out. But we can see here we've got some nice ranchu in these fiberglass what look to be troughs. Each tank looks like it's got its own net, which is really good for biosecurity, preventing any parasites from spreading, because although many shops may have parasites, it is really hard to completely eliminate parasites from a shop or from your fancy goldfish, because in a shop like this, there are so many fish, so many systems, and there's always bound to be some sort of cross-contamination. Like us in a hospital, for example, if someone's got a cold, it is very likely for someone else in the hospital to catch a cold because there are so many people in such a small area. And the same applies for the fancies here. It looks like now we've got a few different mixes of varieties, a few different colours as well. Look to be on the small size, something that fish that aren't too pricey. Looking at that 1,000 to 3,500 yen, I don't believe that is too pricey in terms of fish quality and fish selection. And hopefully as we go on throughout the video, we'll see some slightly more expensive fish and some nicer fish. But I think we're going through the beginning of the shop through the sort of general grade and the classic grade. Now many shops as well will list their fancies as A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, AA, AAA grade. And a lot of people say, oh, I've got a fancy goldfish and it's A grade or AA grade. And unfortunately, this doesn't mean anything at all. The grade of the fish is what that shop or the breeder has told them that it is. And every breeder and every shop has a different classification for that grade. It's not like you're doing your GCSEs and you got an A star and that A star was the equivalent across the entire country. This is very different. And one breeder's or dealer's A grade may be another's C grade fish. So when selecting these fish, we need to look for the individual characteristics and individual points of that fish, and we can't go off what it's called or if it's super rare, for example, or that in that grading system. So that is definitely something to consider when purchasing your fish, making sure that they are of a good grade, and we are looking at the selection process. We're going through that selection process, looking at the quality of the back curve. If it's a ranchu like these calico ranchu here, has it got any deformities? Is the back nice and curved? Is it straight? Has it got a nice swimming pattern? Are the fins displayed well? Is the fish active? Does it have a good wen growth and a good wen shape? Is the tail nicely fanned open? Does it have a split in it? All of these different factors really come into play when selecting your fish. So don't be put off, so to say, by those grading systems, but really make the grade system for yourself, if that makes sense. But now it looks like we've got some bubble eyes. These look like a blue color or a lavender. Now I always find the blue steel color in ranchu or oranda or bubble eye, as we can see here, is quite a hard color to morph to get, and sort of on the rarer side of things. Now going back to that rare side of things and the A and B grade, etc., always make sure you're still purchasing your fish on what looks to be the sort of scarcity in your area. And if that's something you like, the sort of rarity, collectability, then definitely go for it, but don't go for it on what I'm saying, go for it on your personal opinion. So we just saw some really nice ranchu in that clip. They looked like potentially they could have even been at top view Japanese ranchu. Now I believe they must have been quite expensive fish. I didn't quite see the price on the screen. I'm not sure if it came up. I wasn't paying that much attention, but the fish looked absolutely beautiful. And it looks like now we've got some nice red and white ryukin on the screen as well. Now I always find when you're buying smaller fish, you generally have a better chance of success on the long term. Smaller fish, you can control the growth rate. You don't need to force feed them and force grow them, which can often lead to potential problems down the line. Also, the other added benefit of buying nice and small fish is they are generally a lot cheaper, and it's generally quite nice to see how they grow and develop as they come on. Also, you can see we've got some sort of medium-sized ranchu here. These guys look like they're top view ranchu and not too large. Generally, the top view ranchu are very hardy, as buying smaller fish are, and growing them on yourself. Also, looks like we've got some calicos here, maybe some telescope eyes, fantail telescope eye cross potentially. I'm really liking the color of these, really nice metallic sheen to them and that calico base. When looking for a calico fish, generally that black will change in color as the fish ages. So that black will morph. Sometimes it can completely cover the fish and sometimes it can really recede, and a lot of that is dependent on the water quality as well. Generally, people say in harder water, the black, or sumi in Japanese, comes out a lot more, and this is why some fish that are quite clean, especially in koi, can get shimmies, which are small black scales, not to be confused with ammonia burn. Now it looks like we've come across a few slightly more expensive fish. I saw those ranchu there around 2,000 baht, or 2,000 yen I should say. We are not in Thailand, but hopefully we will be in another video in the near future. We've also got some really nice ryukin here, really liking the deep bodies, and this is an awesome store. I wish we had more stores like this in the UK, and I cannot wait to see Star Fisheries store as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing that because I've heard some very good and exciting things about it. Looks like we've got some more Japanese top view ranchu on the video now. These guys look a little bit bigger, sort of that 5 to 6 inch, and generally the larger fish sometimes are used as oyogoi, which in Japan means parent fish, and they use these fish to spawn and bring on that next generation onto the farm and then vice versa into the shop. So now it looks like we've got rid of all of those fiberglass vats and we're sort of focusing on the side view and the glass tanks, so to say. Now these calicos look really nice. I wouldn't say any of these are cows, but they look really nice quality. Hopefully we get to see the price, and maybe these guys are starting to jump up, and hopefully you at home maybe have Google open and you're checking the price in Japanese yen. So these calicos look like they're around that 3-inch mark. I would expect in the UK to see fish of this quality and this size be ranging from the 100 to 150 pounds range, and there we can see 10,000 yen. That is the most expensive fish I've seen so far on the video, and as I mentioned, in the UK they would be around that 100 to 150 pound mark. There are some varying qualities. I saw a really nice Kirin in there, and these calicos are really nice. There's some particularly nice fish like the one just going on the screen now. Not quite a cow, but that sort of water ink / cow mix. But really liking the wen growth on these. You can see they've got a lovely full wen on some of these calicos, and that is a really good trait to look for, especially if you're purchasing young fish like these Oranda here. Absolutely great quality. They look like they might be rose tail Oranda. Really nice size for growing out. If I was to start another fancy goldfish tank, potentially I would start looking into the Oranda, because I find they have a little bit of better balance compared to the Ranchu. And I'm really liking their sort of new tail styles, and the tail styles that breeders are starting to bring into the market. And those in particular looked really nice and a really good quality, excellent for growing out. Now we've got some more red and white Ranchu. Lovely faces on these guys, really chubby looks. They are so cute, and they are, I would have to say, they are my favourite type of fancy goldfish overall. Really nice fish, but these guys are 20,000 yen, so double the price of those Ranchu we saw in the first video. Not sure if they were double the quality, but a lot of the time quality doesn't always equal price, and a lot of the time the size is a far more impacting factor in the cost of fish. So that is another point. When you're looking around a fancy goldfish store or a breeder, make sure to select the fish for the quality. Unless you're looking for those jumbo huge fish, I would always buy quality fish over a sizable fish. Now, with the right environment and the right food, etc., you're going to be able to put a lot of size on a small fish and grow it up to quite a large fish in quite a quick amount of time, quite a speedy process. But you cannot get a large fish that isn't high in quality into that higher quality fish. However, you can get a small fish that is high quality into a large high quality fish. Now it looks like we've got onto some nice Orandas again, slightly larger in size, and these are 7,000 yen. I wish I would have checked the yen to pound ratio before starting this video so I could do some quick calculations, but hopefully, as I said, for you guys at home, you are going to be able to do that whilst you're watching. If you want to find out the price of these fish in your own currency, if you don't, no problem at all. Looks like we've got some more small Oranda, absolutely great for growing on. I would always spend a little bit more on a smaller fish and really have that good potential to look forward to, and those fish will likely grow into fish like you can see here. Absolutely beautiful Oranda, really nice deep bodies, snow white skin on this guy, and lovely splayed tails, really nice high dorsal fins, really good looking fish. And I would say the short body Oranda is starting to come into fashion a little bit more than that elongated body, and the fashions and the fads are slowly changing as the years go by. But these guys are 15,000 yen, so quite a big jump in price. But we can see there's an absolutely beautiful tiger coming into screen now. That is an absolutely amazing fish. Really loving that tiger pattern. Another rare fish as well, which doesn't come along that often. So back onto a few tubs, we've got some more Ranchu. There seems to be lots of these red and white Ranchu, which I'm pretty sure are the Japanese top view Ranchu, similar to what I have outside. And because this store or this breeder is based in Japan, that would definitely make a lot of sense as well. Now those Oranda that you just saw on the screen look a little bit lifeless, a little bit listless. That is definitely something I would look for when selecting fish. You want to make sure your fish is nice and active. There are no behavioral problems or issues, so to say. The fish is swimming around, it is foraging for food, and it's also eating well. If the fish is lifeless, sitting at the top of the water column, not doing too much there, that is definitely an indication that something is wrong. Maybe it's something as simple as the water quality of the tank, and the fish would be absolutely fine in your system at home. But that's definitely something I would consider when selecting your own fish from a shop. Now we come back to some more absolutely stunning calicos. I really like these. Really good, nice curvature to the backs, really good full wen growth. And when buying a fish, if it is an older fish like this, if it doesn't have that wen growth, it is very unlikely that it's going to come and it will get better. So always consider when purchasing a larger fish, make sure it has sufficient wen growth already that you can enhance, rather than little wen growth that likely won't come as the fish gets older. And now we're on to some more superb Oranda. Seems like we're getting into the slightly quite higher quality and higher echelon of fish now. We've got some beautiful Oranda at 25,000 yen each. And these are the sort of short body, kind of similar to the Shogun Oranda you may find or see advertised on social media. Really like these fish. Now, although they may be slightly more compacted and have slightly more potential issues down the line with their swim bladder, they are definitely a real showy fish. Really lovely swimming pattern. They're just so cute to watch, and an absolute pure high quality breed. These fish are really nice, and I would say these are getting into that really sort of top show quality, real show pieces and stunners that you'd love to have in your tank at home. And one day maybe I will have a tank of these short body Oranda, because I really do like them and I've never had the pleasure of keeping them actually. Now it looks like we're on to some more Ranchu as well. Now these tanks don't look that big, and I would say that's absolutely fine, especially in the shop. Generally shops have quite high turnovers of stock. The fish are moved around a lot, they're going to customers, and they don't need to be in such huge environments. If the fish was in a tank like this for life, then yes, definitely that is something to think about and not the ideal home for a fish like this. But in a shop, smaller tanks that are well kept, nice and bare, easy to maintain, a few sponge filters, maybe a few canisters or sump filters as well, easy to maintain, which means that the dealer or the seller will likely keep them cleaner and focus more on them, because you can really see when the dirt starts to build up, which then leads the fish to having a happy life and a much better environment whilst it's in the shop's premises. Now, absolutely amazing Ryukin. I love these. These are one of my favorite. Kirin Ryukin. They've got these super deep bodies. These are real high quality fish, and these ones are definitely a rarity. You don't come across these very much. And as you can see, 20,000 yen, so a real high quality expensive fish. Really like the deep body of the Ryukin, although it can potentially have some problems with the swim bladder further down the line. They have a real presence and a real quality about them, so definitely one of my top fish that I really like to see, and some fish that you don't see very often. So it looks like we are slowly getting to the end of this shop tour, and maybe some of you at home will be a little bit glad that I am stopping, that I'm going to stop babbling on in your ears and talking over all of this lovely goldfish content that has been filmed for us. But looks like we're wrapping up to the end of the shop now. A really good selection of fish I've seen in the shop, and a really nice shop too. Really like the layout, the combination of the glass tanks where you can see through the side view, and these ponds. Not many shops have these sort of fiberglass or shallow ponds, because they do take up quite a lot of surface area and quite a lot of space in the shop. So that is probably why they don't have them, but I assume this shop is quite a large one, and as it has the breeders facility as well nearby, or maybe on site as well, they do have that space that they can put these fish into and really get the different viewing patterns or sort of viewing styles from the fish, so to say. So that is it. We are just now wrapping up with the last few tanks. Hopefully you enjoyed this shop tour, and if you want to see more videos like this, or you want to see more styles of videos like this where I'm narrating over the top, talking about the fish, talking about the environment, how I would potentially change things or select fish or anything like that, then let me know in that comment section, and I will do some more videos like this and show some real high quality fish. Maybe we'll do a few more breeders tours and stuff like that. But that is it for the video footage, so I'm going to wrap up here and then I will finish up the video. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was quite a long one, which was quite nice to see how this Japanese farm and how this Japanese shop had their fish laid out and the different qualities of fish they had as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As I mentioned at the beginning, make sure to get entered into our free giveaway we are doing with Jimmy Goldfish and Star Fisheries. That post is on the Fancy Goldfish Fanatics Facebook group, so make sure you check that out and get entered, because at the end of the day, who doesn't want to win a free £50 voucher to spend on some lovely goldfish? So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.